I solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that everything I am about to tell you in this video is true. What's up, everybody? My name is Tyler Adolfo, and in this video I'm going to talk about the brief period of my life when I thought I was related to John F. Kennedy. For those of you who are new here, thanks for stopping by. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I talk a lot about mental health on my channel. More specifically, I talk about the condition of bipolar disorder. I suffer from bipolar disorder type 1 with psychotic features. And I had a manic episode with psychosis that lasted from approximately October 2021 to March of 2022. During the tail end of that episode, one of the paranoid delusions that I had, one of the more prominent ones, is that I thought I was related to John F. Kennedy. And I thought that I was tasked with this special mission to warn the world of what was to come. That we were on the brink of Armageddon, that very few would survive or make it, that Nazis and communists were everywhere around us. There were a lot of paranoid delusions that I had, but a lot of them centered around this belief that I was related to John F. Kennedy, and this paranoid delusion led to some intriguing interactions, to say the least, because at this time in my life, I was a member of a college frat. It's somewhat like the movie Animal House, but not quite. And I was a student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. But it wasn't until the tail end of the episode, my manic episode, that these powerful delusions really started to overcome me. I remember the first time I started having these beliefs was sometime shortly after being released from Cooley Dickinson Hospital, maybe like a few weeks after. I was hospitalized for 5 days because I was telling people that I was going to be holding a press conference and that I would be exposing corruption on campus, that I would be exposing sexual assault cover-ups on campus, and that all these people from the mainstream media would be there to cover my press conference. Of course, none of that was true, and I remember being at Campus Pond actively trying to recruit police officers to my cause, which probably prompted them to then subsequently detain me and bring me to the hospital, because they're like, what is this guy talking about? This guy is absolutely bonkers. This guy is absolutely off his rocker. And so, I was hospitalized for 5 days. And during that time, my mania only intensified and escalated. I wasn't put on any medications when I left the hospital. I wasn't given any kind of follow-up treatment for when I left the hospital. So I had no doctors that I followed up to see, had no follow-up medical treatment. And this would be to my massive detriment, because the mania would only get worse and worse. Not only was I now talking fast, I was already doing that. Not only were my thoughts disorganized, but my thoughts started to get replaced with just such a powerful sense of grandiosity and importance, and I don't know what the triggers for this were. I know for long parts of my life I struggled with sense of belonging, sense of purpose, and maybe those created a vacuum for these delusional beliefs to enter. But it still doesn't explain exactly why these beliefs arose at this particular moment in time. So I thought I was related to John F. Kennedy. And I'm someone who was always fascinated with the political character of John F. Kennedy. I read a book of his that he had wrote when he was in an undergrad in college called Profiles in Courage, where he documents cases of individuals in politics who demonstrated integrity, a value which I hold very dear and which I've talked about in speech competition. And so maybe that's part of the reason why JFK became the delusional alter ego of me in particular. I'm not too sure. But I started messaging people. I started disseminating emails. I started sending out text messages I started contacting friends over Discord and elsewhere, trying to recruit other people into being politically active alongside myself. And boy, did I become politically active, let me tell you. I actually ended up getting appointed to the town economic development committee, despite the fact that I was in a total state of mental disarray. Somehow, in that state of mind, I was able to persuade the town select committee to appoint me to the economic development committee. The town selectmen appointed me. I believe there was only one town select woman who voted against me. The rest were unanimous in their decision to appoint me. So my belief that I was related to JFK led to me getting involved in politics for an ephemeral amount of time, which was a very short amount of time. But I was sending all these messages around, and man, let me tell you, is it embarrassing in hindsight. Not a lot of people really gave any credence to what I was saying. A lot of people were off-put by what I was saying, and nobody took me serious, so that only made me very angry. It was very upsetting to me that people didn't believe me. And I started posting to my story talking about how World War III was coming, that Armageddon was right around the corner, and that you have to listen to what I'm saying if you want to be saved. I believed that I even looked like JFK. I would start posting clips of JFK on my story, and I would talk on my story using a JFK accent, if you could believe that. And I would say I was pretty good at it. I actually have a video reacting to crazy videos I filmed while Manic. It's on my channel. I've made a couple videos of this, and some of them actually cover me using the JFK accent. So if you're interested in checking those out, definitely take a look. I could put the link to some of those in the description box down below, particularly the ones where I'm using the JFK accent and think I'm related to JFK. I remember telling my mother that she's the daughter of an incredibly important political figure in American history and in world history. I told her that one of the women that John F. Kennedy slept with was her mother, my grandmother, Betty Cleveland. And my mom was absolutely flabbergasted at what I was saying. She did not believe a word of it. But because of how angry I was, she was also rather nervous and scared to directly challenge what I was saying. A lot of people were scared of me at that moment in time. A lot of people just thought I was plain ridiculous and didn't pay me any attention at all. And so I had these strange interactions with people as a result of this paranoid delusion. And it's something I still wonder about to this day. It's such an interesting delusion to develop. You know, as interesting as delusions can be. Of course, they're terrifying. It's tragic that they happen. But we have to be able to look back and try to learn from our experiences. And that's why I'm making this video, to just share my story. These are beliefs I genuinely had. And one other interaction I want to talk about it was an email I sent out to Alex Jones, and this was in early 2022. And in the email, I had mentioned that I am JFK Jr., that I have returned, and that I await our conversation, Alex. I have another video where I talk about the craziest emails I sent out while Manic, and that is one of the emails that I covered in detail and elaborated on. I basically read the emails I sent out word for word, and then I give the added context so that you can understand where my mind was at that particular moment in time. And so, that's the story of how I thought I was JFK while I was in a Manic episode. I thought I was JFK Jr. I thought I was related to the Kennedy family. That's another thing. I just remembered another interaction I had in January of 2022. I sent out an email to one of my college professors who happens to be a member of the U.S. Congress, or at least he was at the time. I'm not sure if he still is, but his name is Richard O'Neill. And in that email to him, I told him how my cousin, Joseph Kennedy, wasn't interested in helping me because he was planning his run for governor. And these are things that I literally believed. I was in a totally different planet mentally. My mind space just was not exactly there. And to this day, I just can't believe that I possessed these beliefs for a period of time. As severe as my mania was, as consequential as my psychosis was, I'm still shocked. I can't believe that these things happened. It really helps me appreciate just how powerful the human mind can be. The human mind can convince you of some incredible things. And when you're in a mental state like that, when you have bipolar disorder, which affects only approximately 1% of people globally, some interesting situations and circumstances can arise. And that is precisely what happened in the case of Tyler Adolfo's Manic episode. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to share your experiences of mania down below if you have any, or if you know someone who is manic. I'm interested in hearing your stories, hearing your perspectives. What have you learned, if anything at all? If you have any questions about my story, any clarifying questions, or if there's any information I can give you, feel free to ask down below. I'd be happy to answer. But that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that like button so that more people can see this video. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day.